So here I am with my favorite contestant from MasterChef. Was it 13?
13, yeah, and I was not your favorite contestant.
Wait, you were totally my favorite, my secret favorite. I couldn't tell everybody that Amanda was my favorite, but now I can, and I am allowed to say that now, right?
I guess so. I think so. I just don't believe you.
Well, you just weren't there very long, so
Yeah,
I couldn't continue to root you on because you left fairly early.
I know. Well, I was the first one gone, so.
Exactly. But I did love Bryn as well as the season
Yeah,
progressed.
that's awesome. How can you
Bryn, well,
can't talk about it.
she's just very chefy, and I think like she thought like she had the right mind of a chef, so I really enjoyed that about her.
Yeah,
Um,
she's a good human. She's a great person, so
she
I really
seems
like Brent a lot.
she
I like
seems
everybody,
everybody. Look, I want to ask you about reality TV. Let's start. So, Amanda, while you were on MasterChef season 13, you have an awesome Instagram page where you're cooking food, looking really great while doing it, and I think that that's really interesting. And I also think it's really interesting that you were recruited for MasterChef, right?
yes, yes.
Via Instagram.
Via Instagram, yes. I believe it was Instagram. I mean, I was contacted through Instagram, but it could have been through my YouTube channel. I'm not sure.
So this part of this story, one of the reasons I wanted to have you on, because this really fascinates me that some people strive to like totally be on MasterChef, and they
Yeah.
go through a whole process of auditioning, making a tape, filling out an application. And then some people are recruited for Instagram. So one of the reasons why I thought it would be fun to do a podcast with you is to talk about what you were doing on Instagram. How do you make something like that happen? And I don't know that there is a science to it, you know what I mean, at all. But you are definitely someone doing all the right things. It brought you to a really great place to get on that show. So I thought that might be interesting. And then we'll talk about some food here in LA. But so why don't you tell me about when you first started like cooking and then also Instagram cooking?
I've been cooking, I mean, my whole life. My mom was a great cook. She passed away when I was 11, but she was a fantastic cook. My dad's a good cook. We all love to cook. Cooking is like something that's just, it's just something I've always loved doing. And my sister always, I'd say, Krista, you're a great cook. And she'd always say like, yeah, but you have like a natural talent for it. And I mean, I've always loved it. And then since I can remember, I mean, I'm 45, so this is like 25 years ago. Since I can remember the Food Network, I used to watch the food on days I didn't work. I'd watch the Food Network from 9 to 4 every day, every single show when it was all cooking shows. Mm-hmm. And I just thought, I want a cooking show so bad. Mm-hmm. And then I had 3 kids in 19 months, and my life was really dedicated to them. And now that they're a little bit older and then the pandemic hit, I was like, this is the perfect time for me to do something online with cooking. And my husband's in the restaurant business, and he would always say, you're the best chef I know, blah, blah, blah. And I just thought, I really want to do this. And I always wanted to be on camera. So September of 2020, I started Amanda Does Food on Instagram and Instagram and YouTube. I started off with a YouTube channel, but the YouTube videos are long. I am not good at anything relating to technology, so editing those videos was like torture for me. I just didn't know how to do it. So I stuck with Instagram. I started making shorter reels, and yeah, it just kind of blossomed from there. I really enjoy it, and it's fun for me. And then a couple of years later, I got the email from MasterChef. I still had to go through the whole audition process to get on the show, but yeah, it's turned out to be a great fun thing for me, and it's a form of cooking is a form of creativity. It's a creative expression for me. So it's fun to get to do that and share that with people.
When you were watching Food Network back in the day, what were the shows that were your go-to shows? Were there people that you just like totally loved?
Yes, I loved Ina Garten. I still love Ina Garten. She's amazing. I love her. And then I was really drawn to Jada because I felt like we had similar cooking styles. And then when I started the Instagram thing, people would start comparing me to Jada. But yeah, I mean, but Ina Garten, Bobby Flay,
Emerald.
Emerald was huge back then.
Yeah.
But I was really into like the one-on-one, like the Ina Garten types of shows. And I watched them from 9 in the morning till 4 o'clock at night. Now there's no cooking shows on the Food Network, which kind of
it sucks. It really sucks. It's like a thing that irritates me. I wanted to ask you, how did you pick the name of Amanda Does Food? Did you know that it was going to be a little sexy?
No, I had no idea. And honestly, the first person to say something about like, what is it, like Debbie Does Dallas was my dad. And I'm like, Dad, that was way before my time. I've never seen that. You honestly think that that would be my inspiration for a name for my channel? My name is Amanda. I'm Googling different usernames, like, and they're all like taken. Everything's taken that I can come up with. And then my husband went, Amanda Does Food. And I was like, that's it.
Yeah, no, that works. Yeah.
It occurred to me that people would compare it to like think it was like a play on words. It didn't even occur to me.
But then you started to do a little bit of a sexier video in cooking food. Is that a fact? Do you agree with that?
100%. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm not out of line here. Yeah.
It didn't start off that way. My daughters were on my first. I wanted it to be like cooking with my kids a lot and stuff and things like that. And then I was wearing what I thought were very conservative outfits with them. But then I was getting lots of comments about like, if I turn this way, you can see like through the little buttonhole. And so then I took my kids off because I didn't want them to be exposed to stuff like that. And then it started, I'm like, okay, I'm wearing a sweater in this one. No one's watching it.
So you did start to notice the more differently that you dressed, the more reactions you were getting to.
Of course. I mean, I'm not stupid. It was definitely, there was motivation there to get more views, but lately I've been trying to get back into the more, if you look at my last 5 or 6 reels, they're a lot more conservative.
Amanda,
aren't they? I don't know. It's just the way I dress. I don't know. I'm a free spirit. What do you want from me?
No, I'm a fan. I dig it, as you're aware. But I did think that the last couple were. I'm glad that she's back on Instagram.
Really? Like,
yeah. I don't know. Whatever you just posted.
The plaid shirt one.
Yes.
Oh yeah, that one was a little bit, but. I don't know.
Okay.
I had my shirt and a hole was popping right here. So I'm like, all right, just unbutton it and then like tuck it in.
I'm going somewhere with this line of questioning. So you're doing this on Instagram. It's getting great feedback. When did you start noticing that you were doing really great?
Well, my Instagram was growing steady but slow. And then one day I was just looking at it on my phone and my followers were going up like thousands within minutes. And I was like, what is happening? What did I just post? I didn't even post anything. And I haven't figured out why that happened that day, but it just happened.
So someone caught you doing something and shared it? Did you go viral? Is that what happened?
I don't even think anything went viral. All of a sudden, the followers just, every time I looked, it was like 100 in 30 seconds, 100 more in another 30 seconds. And then, I think that I combine personality and a good recipe pretty well, or I do my best to do that. That's my goal. but I haven't figured it all out yet,
Right.
It's just me and my tripod. So it's not like I have a camera crew helping me out.
Eventually, we'll get you there. But so, what was it that sparked the interest of MasterChef, do you think?
Oh gosh, I've been watching it for years, and I study food a lot. I study all the great chefs. Definitely studied Gordon Ramsay. I watched MasterChef. I've seen every single episode of every single season. And I never thought I'd be on the show, but I always thought it would be like an amazing dream to be on the show. But it never occurred to me that could be a reality because I know how many people audition for it. But yeah, I mean, I study food. I collect cookbooks. I read recipes and to get inspiration.
I mean, I'm wondering on their end, what was that like when you received the message that MasterChef was interested in you auditioning?
I was in the car with my twins, and we were on our way home from, I think, picking my daughter up from school or something. And we're at a stoplight, and I just see my phone light up with an email about MasterChef, and I was like, "What? This can't really be like the MasterChef."
Right.
So I read it while we're at the stoplight. Wasn't reading and driving.
But I'm sure you did a little preview while driving. I know I would. What is this? Wait, what is it?
I probably glanced at it a little bit, but
yeah, I'm being silly. Yeah.
But so then I call my dad immediately, and I'm like, "Dad, MasterChef just contacted me." I mean, I started Amanda Does Food like at this point almost exactly 2 years prior. So I just thought, wow, like how is this happening right now? And then I had to go through the audition process. I kept making all the cuts, and but even when I got the email, I knew I'd have to go through the audition process, and I know that, I mean, thousands and thousands and thousands of people apply. So
yeah.
I mean, when you're invited to LA, and then you get to LA, and you still have to go through so many cuts. And I thought when you're invited to LA, you're going to be on the show. But it was just like a dream come true. I couldn't even believe it was happening.
The thing is, it's like, so what that's why I asked you about the sexy before, because you're that's what you're kind of doing on. I mean, your recipes are great, so it's not like you're just doing sexy stuff. You are doing that, or you're dressing in a in a way to get more viewers or whatever it is. And my question is, they contacted you. Did you assume that they would want that version of you, or did you because on the show we talked about this once before, but you weren't the Amanda Does Food. You were more Amanda, the mom.
Yeah, I struggled with that because I had people in my ear going, "You know how to cook. Cut out the sexy stuff. That it's MasterChef. It's a family show." I'm like, but they contacted me. They're the ones who saw my social media. They contacted me.
Right.
So they obviously know. But I don't know. I struggled with that. I feel like they wanted me to be Amanda. In the end, I feel like they wanted me to be Amanda Does Food. But at the time going in, I'm like, I know how to cook. I'm extremely competitive. I can win this, and I don't need to look a certain way. But then I've never worked in television before, so I think that.
What did your inner voice tell you? What did your inner voice tell you to do? Did your inner voice tell you to be Amanda Does Food?
Yeah, but I had family members, friends telling me, to tone it down. Like the pink dress I wore during the auditions, I put that in my wardrobe folder, and I couldn't figure out how to delete that look. So I just left it in there thinking they'd never choose it. And of course they chose it. and then the maroon shirt, like the purpley shirt I wore when I got eliminated. I mean, that's in my closet. I would never wear that. It's just so not me.
Yeah.
You know?
But so, okay, so you purposely brought stuff that was not sexy so that you can portray.
Yeah, because I thought, you know what, I'm gonna let my food speak. I was listening to the chatter around me, so I thought I'm not gonna let my food speak for itself and just, you know, play the very conservative role.
It's very interesting. It's a very interesting thing. It's because it's TV versus who you are. You must have been in your head quite a bit.
Plus, I mean, I have, you know, my dad is extremely conservative.
Right.
So he's watching. My children are watching. My old aunts and uncles, and you know, my in-laws or my mother-in-law. It's just, and it's a national televised show, so it's a little different than, you know, me wearing like a low-cut top on Instagram.
Right. It would be wearing a low-cut top on national television.
Yeah, and I don't know. I just wish I was more me. I feel like my voice was even different on the show.
Yeah. What was that about? Because I feel like I've talked to you. I hung out with you once. You're really fun to be around and hang out with, you know, like, and I don't know that this person is on that show.
Oh, totally. I don't know. And I mean, even what I made, even what I cooked wasn't even me. Like, why did I make fish tacos?
But well, we talked about it on the other thing that we did, but you talked about mental toughness, and this is one of the things that I really wanted to get into with you because I feel like it's something that we can explore. Right out the gate, it sounds like you were not mentally prepared for that show. You know, you had voices of like, who do I want to represent? Who am I presenting?
Yeah. I was confused about my identity for sure going in. Not like in my regular life.
I know what you mean. Like, what identity do I want to represent on the show?
Right. And the audition rounds, I was totally fine in the right headspace. But once we got to the first taping, I was so exhausted. I was just so not, I prepared so much for this show. I had so many dishes that I had mastered just up my sleeve. And of course, I didn't make one of those. I made something I'd never made before. And I think that I just started like unraveling. And everyone else was keeping it together better than me, I guess. I don't know. I'm a person who really, for me to be operating at my optimum potential, I need to be eating well, I need to be exercising, I need to be drinking a ton of water, I need sleep, and none of that was really happening.
I know.
So, yeah, and you know, I just, everyone else was stronger than me, I guess.
Well, maybe not stronger, but just more in tune what they want it to do and be on the show, perhaps.
Yeah, for sure.
But you did get to meet everybody. You got to meet the judges, and overall, do you think it was a good experience?
Of course. Yeah, I'd do it again. And this time I'd go in exactly who I am right now and make exactly what's in my wheelhouse. And
would you be more Amanda Does Food?
Absolutely, 100%.
Yeah. Because
the thing, not be wearing bikinis or anything, but
I know what you mean. But the thing, darn, no, sorry. The thing is, like, I mean, I don't want to talk negatively about people that nobody will remember from the show, but there were a couple of people from the show that left. They should have left sooner than you, I would say. And I do wonder if you had been Amanda Does Food, if that sort of would have floated you on the merits of, we can't get rid of her because everybody likes to look at her. You know what I mean? Even if her tacos, like, there's just no way that first week there was somebody that you were against, and you'd have to go back, and if someone hasn't watched it, you'd have to go back and watch that week, there's no way that, and I didn't taste the dishes and all that. There's no way I think your dish was worse than someone else's that week.
I will have to agree with that without throwing anybody else under the bus. But I mean, my tortillas were homemade. I made 2 different sauces. They tasted good. It was a dish, a complete dish. So I feel like I just pissed them off in some other way. There's something else. Like maybe they were like, she's not who we thought she was going to be on the show. Let's get her out.
Could be. Do you, but like, I mean, so that goes into the reality TV elements of stuff that I wanted to talk to you about. Is that going on? Is there some of that going on? I mean, and no shade to MasterChef at all. I love that show.
Yeah. I mean, I don't have any idea. I don't know. You're kicked off and then you're not going to meet with the judges after and they're telling you exactly what happened. There's none of that.
What is it like being on a reality television show? That's a big question.
Being on a reality television show. It was a once in a lifetime experience. I'll never forget it. I would do it again in a heartbeat. But it's not all reality. It's, it's called reality TV, but there are parts that are scripted. And I mean, I signed an NDA, so I can't really get into it much, but I've never worked in television, so
Well, I mean, what about in terms of like the aftermath, right? Like you shot that thing, I don't know, what, a year prior?
Yes, we shot in January, or I shot my portion in January.
So it's like you shoot in January, then the thing comes out, and now people have a view of you on the show. They go to your Instagram page probably to see who you were and if they can find more about you. And they're like, what? Like, I remember when I did that, I was like, oh, I'm going to follow this person. I like her. And because no, it's not just the outfits, it's the personality, it's what you're cooking, it's the whole thing. You know what I mean? And I'm like, she's so great. And but I'm sure there's people that did that and said she's so great. But I'm sure there was, the world of people that were rooting against you or wanted someone else to win, or because they treat it like a competition and there's haters and all that stuff. What was that like to come back to?
I actually have never, once I came back, I never read anything like, I know the other contestants were reading everything about themselves, like on Reddit and all the MasterChef chat things or whatever. I never
or Kelsey and I's podcast, right? Yeah, right. Yeah.
I've never read any of that. I've never looked into it. So the only people that have, the only feedback I got was from people who were looking for me on Instagram, and they're looking for me because they liked me or thought I was treated unfairly. So I only received the positive comments, the positive.
Hold up though, Amanda. I agree with that, but there are people that, and I've seen it on your Instagram where I've wanted to get into it with people, like.
Oh yeah, but that's a few comments. It's not. It was like a little. Plus, I don't get my feelings hurt very easily.
I believe that. Yeah. But I mean, like, what is that like to be like, I mean, I don't want to give them a platform here in this interview too, but you are confident, you're doing what you're doing on Instagram. It led to this awesome success, whether you won MasterChef or not. It's a huge success to have gone on that show, been a part of that, to get to audition for it inevitably and then get on it. Like, that's a huge thing. Not everybody can say that they've done that. I don't know how many contestants there have been on MasterChef in a total, but I mean, what could it be? A few hundred, you know what I mean? You're one of those people.
Well, I know, but the public doesn't know what it took to actually get on the show. I mean, even when you arrive in LA, half the people are cut. So, and then half the people are cut again to get an apron. And before that, we're auditioning for months and months and months. And that's interviews, that's food, that's cooking, that's talking while cooking. It's, you have to turn in a lot of recipes. You have to you have to make things on camera. But the public thinks that like 40 people showed up one day and half of them get an apron. They don't understand that we've already, even those 40 people that the 20 people that didn't get an apron, they already made it through a gazillion cuts. And it's a very intense auditioning process. But yeah, so I'm super proud of that. I just wish that I didn't crack at the 11th hour.
Oh, I don't think that you cracked. Because I feel like you did make something that looked awesome, you know. But going back to the Instagram people, you know, you are confident you're doing your thing. You have this incredible thing happen, and then people get into it with you about what you're wearing and whatnot. First of all, I don't know why anybody would go to your page to tell you that. Like, just don't go to the page. Like, if it upsets
The
you.
thing is, I don't read the comments. I don't even remember someone saying, like, oh wait, you know what? I get randos sometimes saying like, cover up, you're gross.
That's kind of the stuff that I'm talking about, and it's like,
I'm like, you seriously have time to go to someone's page, click like comment, and then type a mean comment in? Like, who cares? You don't like it. It's
just don't go to the page. It's like,
don't
whatever.
go to the page. It's a free country.
But I'm curious for you, you know, someone who's decided like, this is the brand that I want to be on Instagram. And I'm sure there's also guys who are aggressive, right? How is it to deal with some of that?
I just don't. I just don't. I mean, if someone's really aggressive in the comment section, I'll just block them. I went to block somebody the other day and I'm like, oh my gosh, I have like 223 people blocked.
Fair enough.
I just block them like easy breezy, no big deal.
Well, thank you for not blocking me. I haven't made anything too offensive, I don't think.
If it's intended to be nice, the comment, then
I understand. So good experience, really great. Were you happy with the winner, Grant?
Oh my God, yeah, he's a sweetheart. He's a sweetheart. I didn't see it coming at all. I really didn't see that coming, but I was the first person eliminated, so I wasn't exposed to, you know, him cooking on the show. But he's like a sweetheart, you know, good for him.
Yes. What do you love cooking on Instagram? What are some of your favorite? What is your strategy in deciding I'm going to cook this? Is it about what's easy? Is it about what you like to make? How do you pick all that?
Well, a lot of times it's what I can fit into a 1-30-second reel. Because if I start making something complicated, I'm like, how do I fit all this in? I'm freaking out. But everything I make are things I make at home, especially recently. I took like a 3-week break, and then I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to start making things that I actually make all the time. So my last 5 or 6 reels are things I make literally like a couple times a week. And there are things that I can fit into that small time frame. But yeah, it's stuff I like to make. I like to make what I call like SoCal cuisine. Like, it's very California. It's very clean. It's usually seasonal. And then because when I prepare dinner, it's usually after a long day out and I'm coming home and I have to get dinner on the table pretty quickly. It's usually stuff that it's for home cooks that need to get dinner, a good, healthy, delicious dinner on the table quickly. Yeah, so it's stuff that I make. And then my mom was half Italian, so a lot of stuff is, I grew up eating Italian food, home cooked Italian food. So there's it's very similar to the Mediterranean diet. There's a lot of Italian stuff. And I have so many reels that I've already filmed that I need to edit and release, but you'll see that going forward.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Do
you find any type of cuisine does better than others, or is it just a matter of what you're wearing? I'm just kidding.
If you've noticed, like the reels, the posts that get the most likes are like the sexier outfits.
Right. Yeah. So do you ever sometimes say like, hey, I'm going to wear a sexier outfit this week because I really want people to learn how to make this?
Well, this is my new Yes, I have done that, and this is my new strategy. I'm covering up for most of it, and then if I need to get like people's attention, I'll just wear something. Hey, I'm being honest.
That's it. I love it. I mean, do you have any holiday things planned? Any holiday reels?
Yeah. I mean, I always make like a roast or like a tenderloin. But that's hard. I mean, first of all, that's expensive to make a reel, and then it's hard to fit that into that small time frame. I'm trying to figure out how I can do that, but I'll do all the sides. I've already made a couple of them. I just haven't posted them yet. I'll do all my sides that I make. And yeah, I'll do some holiday stuff. I mean, I'm a Christmas fanatic, so
Me too.
I've got my elves on the shelf back here.
I see that. Yes. I've got lights up. I keep them up though all the time. So LA, eating in LA, where are your spots?
Eating in LA? Well, I live in the Valley. I live in Sherman Oaks. So Ventura Boulevard, I mean, I'm so tired all the time now, but so Ventura Boulevard has really developed, and a friend of ours opened up some really amazing restaurants, like literally a stone's throw down the street on Ventura Boulevard. But Craig, my husband, is in the restaurant business. He's a partner in a restaurant group. So we spend a lot of time there. Boa Steakhouse.
But he's also a partner in Sushi Roku, right?
Yeah, because he's partner in a company called an Innovative Dining Group, and all those concepts fall under that umbrella.
Well, so tell him, I don't know if he's going to watch this, but I'm a huge fan of that particular.
I know, you told me.
Yeah. Please let him know. I think that's awesome. And so is that where you go to? Like, I mean, if someone like a friend of yours is coming from LA and like out of LA to LA, where do you take them? What's the spot that you're going to take them?
Well, I'll probably take them to Boa Steakhouse. It's really good. I don't eat steak a lot, not for any particular reason. I just don't eat steak a lot. But when I really want a steak, that's where I go. It's really, really good. And then, I mean, they own Katana too. It's right on Sunset Strip. There's that a huge balcony overlooking Sunset Strip. We go there. But if I had a friend coming in from like the back east or something, we'd go to Boa Steakhouse first.
Is there a favorite chef of yours that's not in the hospitality group that you go to, like Nancy Silverton, for example, or something like that? You know,
that is probably my favorite restaurant, and it's Joe Bastianich's too. That's just a coincidence,
right?
It's probably one of the best meals I've ever had in my life. The agnolotti was just, I mean, it's
so good,
amazing.
Yeah,
there's no words to describe it. I think Nancy Silverton is a perfectionist when it comes to her food, and it shows. And I actually saw her in the restaurant the last time I went, and I almost walked up to her, but I don't know. I mean, I could see any celebrity. I could see like the biggest celebrity in the world, but the food world is what I'm really drawn to.
I've done a bunch of documentaries with food people, and I always get the most fanboy out when I see them. Like meeting Nancy, I did some stuff with her in a film, and Brooke Williamson came to a screening of ours somewhere, and I was like, "Oh my God, I can't believe Brooke Williamson is here." So I totally get that. Have you had people come up to you and recognize you from Instagram or MasterChef?
Yes. Once I was at a food truck. I was getting it was like a what do you call it? Teppanyaki type of food truck. And they recognized me.
From MasterChef?
From MasterChef. I get a lot. Okay, that's the only time for MasterChef. But sometimes I think that I'll get like somebody staring at me and then waving at me, and I swear it's not because they're trying to pick me up.
Maybe.
I'll be like, I think that they probably recognize me from something.
Yeah, they just haven't identified what it is.
Yeah.
How did you handle the MasterChef interaction? Were you like, thank you? Or like, what is that like?
I was like, I always just am very gracious. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you. I posted about it, I think. This was like months ago.
It's very cool.
Yeah.
So then you can totally go up to Nancy and say, what's up?
I'm sorry?
You can totally go up to Nancy and say, what's up?
I know, and especially, oh my God, especially since she's been on MasterChef, that could have been like a great opening line, but I just felt bad. I don't know. But I was starstruck, and I mean, it's like literally the best. It's not even me just saying that. It is the best restaurant. It's so, so good.
I'm going there Christmas Eve. Moza. So I'm excited about that. Yeah. What else is there to ask? I guess MasterChef is over. You want to do more food TV. When can you start doing that? Can you do YouTube? Like, what are you going to, I mean, I feel like the YouTube needs to, this is just a random thought. YouTube needs to become like a social media platform, because it's really hard to take people from Instagram to YouTube. I know that people go, but like it feels better when it's all within the same app, right? Like, so I bet you're probably making great content on YouTube that nobody will spend a lot of time going to, because it's like they don't want to leave the app. But so do you want to do more? What do you want to do? Like, what is the next thing that you really want to work on?
Well, after MasterChef, a producer from a different network reached out to me to do a show, but I'm under contract with Fox for, I think, like another year. So I had to opt out of that. And then just last week, I was supposed to do a Fox and Gordon Ramsay show, but it didn't work out. With our scheduling just didn't work out. So that didn't work. Those two things didn't work out. But starting we're thinking February or March, I'll be hosting a YouTube channel.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah. I don't know all the details yet. I don't even know if I'm allowed to say that. I don't even know if whatever.
That's all right. Well, there you go. That's it.
But yeah, some projects are coming, so.
Good, because I feel like you need to be out there more, and people need to see you doing more stuff. Yeah, of course. Well, this has been a lot of fun. I want to do more with you. Let's do more podcasting and talking, and maybe we can have some other people do things with us or something. I think this was awesome.
Yeah, this was so fun.
Yeah.
Let's come up with something we can do.
Absolutely, for sure. All right. Well, thank you for this, and I'll see you around.
Okay.
All right. Have a good one. Thank you.